Welcome to the JD Bunkis podcast. It's a good hour. It's Ben Ennis Day. How are you today, my friend?
I'm good. I'm doing very well.
That's good. I'm very happy to hear that.
Thank you. Yeah, I took down the rink, backyard rink.
Yeah.
I know some people that are keeping it up despite it being 20 degrees, literally 20 degrees yesterday. Some people
are you willing to bend the knee and admit spring is here, even though I don't think it's technically on the...
You don't think? You don't? Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't pay attention to that when it's you, but I'm just saying.
No, it's...
So it's not spring?
Well, it's going to be sub-zero this weekend. Luckily, I won't be anywhere near here, so you guys...
Where are you going?
I'm going to Texas.
Oh, you?
Friday.
I'm so jealous of how you have that Texas connect in your life.
Yeah.
You married a woman from Texas.
We're going to a rodeo.
Yeah, that's
We're
cool.
going to gorge on barbecue.
Yeah, that's cool.
Going to go on the water.
Yeah.
One of my wife's cousins
right
has
before
a
the
boat.
baseball season starts too. Like you're getting away at the perfect time.
Dude.
Right as the Leafs are just like I don't know what I'm supposed to do with the Leafs for the final month of the season.
No offense, I haven't been listening to these Leafs talks recently. Like
Don't say that.
What happens on them?
So, first of all, let me just say this. So, as you know, I keep the DMs open and I try as best I can to interact. Some days it's like, yeah, there's a lot of message in there, whatever. Anyway, lately, as I've gone through them, a lot of the messages go like this. Hey, JD, I just want to say thanks for doing Leafs Talks. I can't watch the game, so I really appreciate what you do. They're talking to me now as though, like, I served.
Yes.
Like, they're talking to me as though I did something that requires a certain level of respect. And I got to say, I like it.
Yeah,
thank you for your service as someone who's just watching hockey games now with basically, let's be real here. I'll tell the truth.
Please do.
If the Leafs are on and Canada's playing a baseball game.
No duh.
Or even anything.
Right.
The Leafs are on a screen, and I'm not a dual sports watcher.
No.
I do with baseball a little bit more because it's easier to digest baseball and watch another sport.
Yeah.
But I've always been the kind of guy where it's like, I need to be in control of the situation, be focusing on the situation rather than like I tape and watch stuff after.
That's one way to put it. Another is that you're too stupid to watch.
I'll accept that. Yeah. I don't think that I'm too good in brain.
No, you got not so great brain.
No, brain okay.
But yeah, obviously people divided attention. The Leafs and Montreal Canadiens historic rivalry tonight in Canada, playing for its World Baseball Classic lives, although tonight sort of kind of doesn't matter. Like the game tomorrow against Cuba is the most important, but they can win the group if they win against Puerto Rico tonight or still be alive to win.
Okay, let's get into this. I want them to win both these games. Yeah, I texted you during the sixth inning. No. Yeah, it was the sixth inning because that's when...
Naylor, that was the sixth inning.
No, it was when Bo Naylor hit the near double.
Oh, yeah. Was that the... Okay, anyways.
Because they were the home team. So I think that happened at the top of the sixth inning, and then the bottom of the sixth inning, they got an opportunity. Or it was the bottom of the fifth, and then they couldn't cash. Yeah. And then they ended up... Whatever. Close. There was a moment in that game where Bo Naylor had a runner on second base.
I thought the bases were loaded.
Maybe the bases were loaded. My God, I got a whole... Yeah, I just said I got no good brain. Brain no good.
Yeah.
I don't remember the situations exactly. Naylor hit a double down the line, what looked like a double all the way.
Yes.
And I was doing a full stand, go, like drop. And it goes foul.
Yeah. And
I couldn't believe how much I cared. I was like, oh, this doesn't really feel the way that I thought it would, which is, and this is the way it is. Years past with the World Baseball Classic, I've felt a little bit like, all right. We got Freddie Freeman there and then a bunch of Who's-Its. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of years. Like, what was the last time they had this tournament? Who'd they bring out of retirement that was like 45 years old?
I mean, Eric Gagne and Ryan Dempster.
That's it. It was Ryan Dempster and Eric Gagne, and they went, these are the stars of the
But this year, it's James Paxton throwing 95.
Right, and James Paxton's out of the bullpen. Yeah. Like, they brought Jameson Tynan. They've got way more of a credible major leaguer filled roster with a top 100 prospect and Owen Casey who's tearing the cover off the ball. So I don't know.
They got Tugboat coming out of the bullpen.
I love Tugboat.
Tugboat.
By the way, shout out Tugboat because he's a member of the Guardians organization, and I have spent multiple outings now, both games, hating Cade Smith and hating the other guy. What's his name? Sombrowski.
Yeah.
That's how you say it?
Yeah.
Like the 2 Guardians guys that didn't go, the like 2 elite bullpen arms.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I get it. And I've got more thoughts on guys who don't go here in a second because I know you have some takes on Canada baseball.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm a little surprised at how much I care. And yet, do you feel as though there is pressure to get out of the group? Like baseball, the ratings are up, man. I don't know if you saw Passan's tweet the other day, but he posted, I think maybe Carabas reposted it, of how spring training baseball games are up like 500% with viewership. They're through the roof.
Yeah, baseball seems like it's in a great spot.
It's in an unbelievable spot.
And
We're talking about Olympics.
Oh yeah, no, and I have been of the belief and unwavering in my belief, despite you trying to shout it down, that we were one rule change away from absolute nirvana, and we've reached that point, which is the ABS system.
Oh yeah, no, I've been enjoying no ABS. Like,
nah.
Yeah.
It makes me mad a couple times. Actually, that game, the Canada-Panama game, I thought was one of the best umpired games I'd ever seen.
Yeah, there was that one strike 3 call on Tyler O'Neill where he kind of complained that it was inside. He did the little, and it was for a punch out, and then they showed it, and it was like, Steve Reich, brother.
It was
Perfect
great.
painted pitch.
Baseball, I think, is at a great spot. And in this country, how can you argue? I mean, I've said it multiple times in city of Burlington. You can't. It's too late. If your kid wants to play baseball this summer, it's too late. Like there's a huge waiting list, and they let people know early on in the process. We're opening up registration early because we have such a high, crazy demand.
We got to get more going on here.
Yeah, I know they've added teams, but I guess there's a certain point where you can't add any. I don't know.
Well, yeah, you can't add to infrastructure for your.
You can't build more baseball diamonds.
Yeah, but I do hope that, like I talked to Russell Martin about this.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that Canada baseball is already really thinking and planning for expansion, given you need to be able to seize this moment, capitalize on this moment. And like obviously 2015 and 2016 were big in terms of reinvigorating this fan base.
It's crazy how our perception, because I agree that felt big. How much bigger this feels.
That's what I'm saying. The World Series run and getting there and the likability of the team, the relatability of the team, the way they stand out, I truly believe that part of it is we're in an era where athletes and fans are a little bit more disconnected than they've ever been. Mm-hmm. And that Blue Jays team felt very connected with the fan base and accessible in a way that I don't think other groups necessarily do. Mm-hmm. And in a different level than even the 2015, 2016 Blue Jays did, man. Like let's be real. That's the way it is. Yep. So I hope that this can turn into some version of, I hate calling it the Carter effect because I think it's overstated.
You just don't want to give credit to Vince Carter.
Partially. Yeah. Partially that.
I think that's mostly it.
I just don't like how we've had to rewrite the history. I was there. I don't. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, we did. Buddy, we put him in the dinosaur jersey as the logo and as a uniform. I know. It's too much. Anyway, I don't want to get sidetracked with my anger. What do you think the pressure is for them getting out of the group? Do you think that this is like now reached general baseball fan I care level? I'm not talking about the casual fan who's not really paying attention is like, oh, what was the score? I'm talking about like the people who are going to watch at least 2 of these games.
Okay, so it's 2 things.
Yeah.
Is it and should it? Because is it? My finger's not on the pulse. But
Great way to go. Yeah, I don't. I try to get the pulse.
Yeah.
I don't get the sense that it is.
No. Should it? Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the take I like.
Absolutely. Okay, so here are the list of countries and how many players, the ranking of the number of players from that country that play in Major League Baseball. United States, obviously, number 1. 2, Dominican Republic. 3, Venezuela. 4, Cuba. 5, Puerto Rico. 6, Canada. 7, Mexico. 8, Japan. South Korea, 11. The reason I bring them up, because all those teams have at least made the semifinals of the World Baseball Classic. Canada's never gotten out of the group stage. They never played in the quarterfinals. All of those teams have played in at least the semifinals of the World Baseball Classic. And I get it. It's not some best on best, and it's not everything you wished it could be. It's the best we got, unless maybe we go to the Olympics in a couple of years like Bryce Harper wants everybody to do, and even that will be a weirdo thing. But, okay, this is what we have. This is what we have. It's the closest thing we have to best on best. And yeah, hockey is our thing, and everything else is kind of there's a big gap, obviously, between hockey and everything else.
Yeah, I think, but number 2 would now be for sure international basketball.
Yeah, basketball.
Yeah, we're number 2 in the
sure.
NBA with the most amount of players. We've got the MVP who just came off of like
question.
an unbelievable game last night.
There is a longer history, though, of baseball in this country than basketball, right? Like, we've had Fergie Jenkins, you know, when he was playing for the Cubs, Raptors didn't even exist, okay? But we have a long history of baseball in this country, and some of the greatest players that have ever lived. We have Hall of Famers, Larry Walker, recently into the Hall of Fame. There's a long history of baseball in this country, and I know it's not an apples to apples thing talking about the Olympics and our feeling about the national pride or the care about winning a gold medal against the United States in hockey, right? But it shouldn't be as infinitely lesser, because it does feel infinitely lesser. We should have a national pride about this sport in this country, because it does factually mean something, baseball in this country. And we've been pretty good at it before. And maybe the peak of it isn't like the highest level, like Josh Naylor's the best we got here at the World Baseball Classic. Wish he could have caught that baseball.
Sure do, Josh.
3 unearned runs for poor James Paxton, who was, I thought, nails.
Guy's got to be the most clutch guy in the universe when he's facing the Blue Jays. But then for Team Canada, a guy throws him a routine ball, and he's like, "Duh, I get it."
Anyways, but yeah, we've had teams where, like, MVPs. We've had Joey Votto, Justin Morneau on the team, and Russell Martin, best catchers in baseball. Yeah, we have a long baseball history, and shouldn't it be more like, I'm not calling for some inquisition if we don't get out of this, the summit. I'm not calling for the summit here, but shouldn't there be a question raised? Like, shouldn't there be more pressure on like an Ernie Witt, and kudos to him.
I will say I actually
Baseball
did feel
Canada.
like there was a little pressure on Ernie Witt because his lineup decisions in that last game were very suspect.
And hopefully Owen Casey's bumped up the lineup a little bit.
I would imagine there's no reality where he's not, given they played a guy in the cleanup spot who as someone who's professionally covers sports, had no idea who that person was.
Yeah, so...
And was told emphatically by Josh Naylor on a strikeout pitch, the ball was going in the dirt. He's communicating the pitch to him, and he still swings right over the top of it, and you're like, okay, thanks.
Yeah. Anyways, and it's weird because this game matters, but it doesn't, like, you don't do anything that inhibits your ability to win tomorrow
but
against Cuba.
This game to me really does matter in terms of reestablish. Like, honestly, my feel is that they could sweep this group, that they should have been able to sweep this group, and Cuba's going to be a tough go. And I like this take a lot. Why don't we care more about international Canada baseball?
What have I said that's incorrect? Yeah,
No,
right.
nothing.
It's okay. You're right. International basketball, and we have the reigning MVP and the NBA champion. He's Canadian.
I have thoughts on this, though.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, one is with basketball, like, I don't think we would have cared so much if some of the international tournaments were not about making it to the Olympics. Like, we had this huge Olympic drought, right? 2000 happens, and then we're not making it back. And, like, we know the Olympics are important. And so while you're saying this thing about Canada, I think that there's a little bit of a parallel here with the Four Nations thing, where when we were building up to the Four Nations, people were kind of suspect of how much it was going to matter. We had a World Championships in hockey in 2016 with those weirdo teams, and people didn't...
World Cup,
World Cup, whatever. People didn't really care the same way. When they got to the final against Europe, I didn't get in the bars and have Canadians going around being like, our national reputation is on the line here, right? We were the dominant force in that sport, and Olympics were what mattered. And we are a country that does care about Olympics best on best, because Canada at hockey is, like, very important to us culturally for all kinds of different reasons. So with the basketball team, I don't think it's not only that we're number 2 in the NBA in terms of talent that's in the pool. It's that the goal was always, hey, let's get back to the Olympics. I can't even remember what the tournament qualifier was. I think, again, it was World Championships or a World Cup.
It was FIBA, the FIBA Americas, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I always forget what the title is of these things. Like, I'm bad at that. World Championships, World Cups, they threw me off unless it's soccer. Like, that's the only one where I'm like, that's the World Cup coming here. It's not the World Championships. there was always the very clear goal of return, return, return. And the players became such big stars, so many of them. And specifically, I think this really started around Andrew Wiggins and Anthony Bennett and Nick Stauskas, guys who were first-round lottery picks, starting to enter the player pool and going, hey, are these guys going to be showing up for the tournament? Hey, are these guys going to be going and committing to all these different events? And to me, the basketball excuse of not going doesn't vibe the same way as the baseball excuse of not going. And that's the other part of this. In the NBA, when it comes down to it, for the best on best tournaments, for the Olympics, the American guys all want to be on that team. Nobody's turning down USA basketball, right? In fact, they're going to Cameroon to get guys to play for USA basketball. That's how bad dudes want to play, is that they'll change their nationality from Cameroon and French to I'm actually a 7'2" center for America now. Canada was having the opposite problem where guys were doing rookie deals or guys were looking for contract extensions and they weren't really going. And you're like, yeah, the injury risk is not really the same in this sport.
No.
But when it comes to baseball, a lot of these dudes aren't really paid. And a lot of these guys are like arm talent specifically where they're being managed in a certain way where you can't really quibble with it too hard to the same effect as you can with a basketball player when they're like a basketball player's going to pickup runs and playing in the Rico Hines games and working their ass off and posting videos of them at runs all summer. And then they're like, nah, I can't go to the Olympics. I can't risk the injury. I got a little bit of team pressure. You're like, oh, that seems kind of a lame excuse. Versus baseball, where Cade Smith threw a ton of innings last year for the Cleveland Guardians, to the point where one of the prevailing storylines for Cleveland was, boy, maybe they've taxed this bullpen a little too hard over the last 2 seasons. So you look at that and you go, all right, like the Trey Savage thing. I know we're going to talk about it, but the team says, hey, we're going to slow roll this guy. We're going to take care of his arm. You got to be kind of a bozo to be out here screaming and crying like, they should be throwing until the wheels fall off. No, that's not the way the sport works. So I think that it's, one, we don't have, like, this is still technically like a secondary tournament in our eyes. And it isn't with the goal of getting to the bigger tournament. I think that if baseball went to the Olympics and this was happening year over year and Canada wasn't getting out of the group stage at the Olympics, that people would start to care a little bit more because there's a familiarity aspect. But also the secondary piece is there isn't the same pressure on players to go represent their country in this tournament, even though Canada's got a great turnout this time around. Like, yes, there are really key players missing. If they had all of their best guys, they would be better. But you could probably say that about the United States as well.
Sure.
If the pressure on the players to go to these things was the same as basketball, I think that we would be having this discourse a little bit differently. And then it's going to evolve and potentially change. Like, we're entering something new.
The thing is, it's changed for everybody else, not the United States.
Yeah, the United States, like, they don't care.
Even though
Tarek Scooble's like, I thought about staying, but
I know. How lame was that? Dude?
The lamest.
Like, he
just
was
don't
always,
go.
No, I know, but
you have to pitch against Great Britain.
Even that part, I can get over. The worst I thought was the tease. Is like, you know what? I didn't think it would feel this way.
I didn't think I would like playing for my country.
Get me back to Lakeland right now. And
anyway. Oh, what's that? I got to come home.
Right. Yeah, but the rest of the world is taking this thing extremely seriously, right?
But the rest of the world, you got the difference there though is like that is to them their hockey.
Yeah, I know. That's the difference, right? Yeah, it's like no.
Yeah.
Is it surprising that Kike Hernandez said that this is more important than the 5 World Series he's played in?
No,
a little bit, but yeah, I get it because Puerto Rico, man, that's it. That's baseball, and the fact that they could. If they had all their guys and they're devastated, right, that they can't because of the insurance purposes get all their guys there, but that is an identity for an island, right? Like to be, and they could compete for the title at this thing, right? The amount of talent that small little island.
Yeah, I don't think there's another sport that Dominican Republic is the.
Yeah, I mean they played soccer. I don't think they're very good at soccer. I think Canada's played them in CONCACAF and they stink.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the Dominican Republic. That's important to them. And to the point about this not being the best, it's the best we got, and they get that. They all understand that. And God, they're exhilarating to watch that team. It's so fun. But yeah, the rest of the world does get this. Japan gets it more than anybody.
But I think we get it more than the United States, I would argue. Like, I think that American baseball fans treat it closer to the way we do, where would we like to win? Yes. But when the United States lost to Japan, right, and it's that strikeout pitch, it's Shohei Ohtani versus Mike Trout.
Yeah.
I don't think that the reaction of most American fans was like, we're devastated.
No.
I think it was more, what a cool moment for our sport that we like.
Right.
And that we do care way more about the World Series, and we care way more about our local baseball team than we do about USA Baseball. And I think the relationship is similar for Canadians.
I was going to go there as well. That in this country, we have a professional baseball team. It's
a big part.
I think it's safe to say people feel pretty passionate and feel like live or die with all the moments around the Blue Jays.
You would take one World Series over ever seeing Canada at the World Baseball Classic again.
Last time I checked, the Expos don't play here on Bithorn Stadium anymore, so there's no Major League Baseball team in Puerto Rico, right? So, there's not even – and I'm sure baseball fans have adopted Major League Baseball teams, right? But it's not the same.
No, it's not the same. You can't, if you're not going to the ballpark or you don't plan a trip around going to see your team. I always think that Puerto Rico, a lot of Yankees fans, and that travel isn't difficult. But the point is well stated. Like, Dominican Republic does not have, they cheer for the teams that have their guys on them.
Right. It's not the same. You don't, like, you weren't born into some fandom and feel like, your sports happiness depends on whether your team wins or loses on a day.
Yeah, there's no civic connection to baseball.
Or, maybe you still haven't gone back and watched any of the highlights of Game 7 of the World Series, say, theoretically. By the way, have you?
Highlights of Game 7? Absolutely not.
No, I haven't seen anything. And I was
watched
there.
The Mariners thing I sent you for the John Boy thing, the Mariners cuts. I liked that because I knew we were going to win, and that's all I've been able to.
All I've ever consumed was, because you had to, because it was such a point of discussion, was the leadoff that Isaiah Kiner-Falefa had at third base and parsing over that.
Yeah, I've seen that highlight on social.
I still haven't heard the Dan Schulman call of any of the key moments at all because I was there. Anyways, but it's different. That's where the passion for this sport lies with the professional team that plays in Canada.
Yeah.
That outside of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. doesn't employ any Canadians anymore. But that's where the passion.
No, Adam Macko.
Sorry, Adam Macko, who, by the way, they got special dispensation from the Blue Jays. Can he pitch again? And they're like, yes, fine. Go ahead.
Like, we ain't using him.
he got some big outs in that game that they lost.
Sure.
Anyways, but it should mean something, though, because baseball means something in this country, and having Canadian baseball players and being the sixth most players in Major League Baseball are from this country, there should be some pressure on this team, and no doubt, like, they feel it, no question.
Mm-hmm.
But it should be more than exists.
I think it's going to build, though, now a little bit because, again, Canada's had some teams go to the World Baseball Classic that were pretty limited on talent, that were not a great representation of the country as a whole. Like, even the Freddie Freeman thing, he was trying to honor his mother. It wasn't, hey, God, this guy's Canadian. We've been following his whole career as a Canadian. And he was sort of the face of the program the last time that they were actually at the World Baseball Classic. Because, again, we went over the talent that was there. So the talent pool that has gone to this thing for a bunch of the years, and I'm not talking about when it's been Joey Votto, right, has usually been fairly limited. And they have not posted good results. And so there's never been a building feeling of that we actually are in the group that you're talking about, right? Like, you can say that we're, sixth most players in Major League Baseball? And that we're the only team that's never been to the semifinals?
Yes.
That's also part of the reason why it doesn't feel that way is because we've never been to the semifinals. Like, that's why I'm very curious about this moment in time in particular, because if Canada can win these next two games, I think the thing you're looking for now becomes more of a thing. That people are hungry for baseball in this country.
Yeah.
They're thrilled to be coming off of the World Series run. That they're familiar with more of the players now because there are far more people that are deeply invested in baseball and understand the players a little bit more, the team a little bit better. That if they're playing in that game against Cuba and it's win or go home, my guess would be that will feel like the most pressure we've had at the World Baseball Classic in probably our lifetimes, other than beat Mexico in a fight, because that was pressure.
That was awesome.
You needed to make sure you establish dominance over the Mexicans.
By the way, Mexico's seventh most players in Major League Baseball. They've also been to a semifinal.
Yeah.
So have the Netherlands twice, by the way. Yeah, we also need to bring this tournament back to Rogers Center. I know we did it one time, and maybe some of the non-Canada games were sparsely attended or something. Or yeah, I think that was probably true. But the renovations and I remember the excitement to watch Canada in Toronto was electric factory.
Yeah.
And I know it's been electric for the Puerto Ricans to watch their team hit a walk-off against Panama, which that was sick. That was awesome.
I think that's a big part of it too, is like having Canada baseball fans who are willing to travel to these events. Like even you watched the last game, and granted there was rain delay and you got to travel to get there, but they allowed the Canadian baseball fans to move down to the best seats for the final outs. And I would say maybe a couple hundred fans at most. Yeah. It'd be cool to play in front of their country and feel like the support of the country at the Rogers Center.
If this game tonight and tomorrow were here, don't you think that would be a totally different conversation?
Yeah, 100%, of course.
Honestly, even if it was in a major league stadium, it might have a different feel. Like there is, I don't know, from people of my vintage, I think of the death throes of the Montreal Expos. And I know it's been redone.
Yeah.
But in that stadium, I think it's kind of a depressing stadium for me. And I know they revamped it and they spent millions of dollars.
It's a depressing stadium. The history of it's bad.
I don't they do the cutouts. They do the dirt cutouts, but it's they paint the infield to look like it's not a cutout. Yeah, it's just a little depressing. If that were here, I think you would feel more of the pressure for Canada to get out of this thing for the first time ever.
Well, yeah, I think you being in a country, of course, you're getting more people in the city that are invested and that are going. I'm optimistic. Let's just put it this way. I think you're right, and I think that you're also right to feel that way and make that question, and that's relevant with this tournament. But that this is sort of a bit of a tipping point moment for Canada baseball in terms of if they flame out and nothing becomes of this tournament, and it's yet another, hey, Canada didn't get out of the group. To me, more people just kind of stay checked out because the expectation is low. If Canada can get out of the group, all of a sudden you're telling people hey, we actually have the 6 most players. Hey, we're the only team that's ever been in the semifinal. Hey, we actually did get out of the group. Hey, there are some moments that you can be excited in that we can point to. And now all of a sudden you are hoping, hey, maybe if we do go to the Olympics, we're going to be somebody there and we actually have reason to invest in this team. And maybe you're going to end up getting more players show up for that thing. So again, I think it's a multi-layered conversation, but a big part of it is just the lack of success has actually been a reason why some people are not really checked into it.
Totally. I think you're right, because I think it's once that happens year over year over year, we're we don't send our best guys.
That's it.
It's but yeah, that's true for everyone.
Yeah, Ryan Dempster versus Team USA. Hard to be invested in that.
Yeah.
Remember he had the one inning where it was there was 2 warning track balls, and then it was oh, he got out of it. What a hero. I remember thinking that's a Canadian heritage moment. It's 45-year-old Ryan Dempster getting 3 outs against USA. And then the next inning he came out and it was blam.
Yeah.
A lot of blam.
Yeah.
God.
James Paxton, I know he's made his $40, $50 million, but you don't think that guy could still get outs in the major leagues?
Well, of course, he was still throwing. Yeah, it was great. And honestly, I thought he pitched fine. It was just purely a matter of Naylor and then
leaders and duck.
What do you think happened on that cutoff play though? Because
he forgot how to. He was I saw Manny Ramirez once make a cutoff from 10 feet away. That's what I'm going to try that too.
It was so funny too when he decided to throw home because it was such a I blew it. Whoopsie daisy. Anyway, all right. One last thing on World Baseball Classic before we take the break, because I have something for you.
Yeah.
Don't you feel like Owen Casey can become a star in this country with a couple more big games? That he, out of all of the names at this tournament, is the one that now we're going to be paying more attention to? Because you made a good point about how it's we did used to have the Vottos, we did have the Jason Bays, we did have the Justin Morneaus, guys who were legitimate stars in baseball. And listen, Josh Naylor's very good. Yeah. And we saw how good he is in the last series against the Blue Jays. He's a stud, no doubt about it. But that is also kind of
the guys you mentioned won MVPs.
Yes, and Owen Casey, I don't know if that's the ceiling for him, but there is something different about watching a guy at the very beginning. This one felt a little to me when we had that tournament here in Toronto where Jamal Murray popped off.
Right.
And everyone sort of became a little bit more aware of Jamal Murray. And it's hey, this guy's at Kentucky, and he actually could be a top draft pick. He wasn't a big-time household name in the way that Andrew Wiggins was. Or, Shea wasn't nearly that either, but I'm just trying to think about what other Canadians. No, it's Andrew Wiggins, really. Wiggins was the household name prospect. everybody was waiting on, Maple Jordan. Owen Casey, I think, has the greatest opportunity in this tournament in terms of upside win to become a household name for Canadian baseball fans and represent something a little different.
Yeah. Tyler Black had a big moment.
Yeah.
He could have done that too. But
no,
sure.
Casey's the guy.
Yeah, because he's been on the tip of everybody's tongue. He's been a prospect that Cubs fans were waiting to arrive, and then he was involved in a big trade, and now he's going to get his opportunity. There's a bunch of Canadians on that Marlins team too, right? Catcher, like I think it was 4 Canadians that are going to be playing roles for that Marlins team this year. So that'll be the one to watch if you're interested in seeing the Canadians. But for sure, it feels like he has that upside potential. You just have to look at his minor league numbers to know that. And I don't know what you can take away from the tiny sample he has at the major leagues. One of those outs was that Davis Schneider catch of the year at Rogers Center, remember? Where it could have been his first major league hit. But yeah, he feels like a man for the moment is the thing, right? He's first at bat, or at least first game, hits the home run. I imagine
drives in the run to make it 4-3 and give them an actual shot in the 9th.
Yeah, I mean, he hit it to a part of the field that center fielder Orioles prospect couldn't get to, and he seems like the fastest player on planet Earth. Also, Canada cutting him down at the plate in that game as well. But he feels like he's a man for the moment and needs to hit higher than 8th. Again, to the Ernie Whitt point, maybe some pressure on the manager to do something with this and get out of the group that seems very plausible they could get out of.
With you. All right, quick break. We're going to come back and talk about Trey Savage and what we expect from the rotation to start the season. Because, it's the times they are changing.
Right now at Pizzaville, get 2 classic panzerotti for $13.99. Each filled with tomato sauce and cheese, baked or fried, and come with a side of tomato sauce for dipping. Order at pizzaville.ca or from your cell at pound 3636.
Psst. Did you hear that Tuesday's Lotto Max jackpot is an estimated $25 million?
If I won, I'd start my own film festival.
Shh, no dreaming during the movie.
Sorry, I'd produce, direct, and star in my own summer blockbusters.
And watch him in my 200-seat home theater.
I'd buy my own roller coaster.
Sorry.
Tuesday's Lotto Max jackpot is an estimated $25 million. Why dream to the min when you can dream to the max?
Life's noisy enough. Everything demands your attention. So here's something rare. Ah, silence. It's underappreciated, kind of like windows from Magic. With retractable bug screens that only appear when you need them, you'll never worry about a dirty screen ever again. While others add to the noise, Magic cuts right through it. Find out more at magicwindow.ca.
It's cold out there, folks. Minus 35. Buckle up if you're going out today. And
leave the winter blues behind when you give and get away at Canadian Blood Services. Escape to a donor center this winter and leave feeling a little lighter, brighter, and better. And when you book and attend a blood or plasma appointment, you have a chance to win round-trip tickets for 2, courtesy of Air Canada Foundation. No donation required. Give and get away this winter. Book at blood.ca/getaway and experience what you get when you give. Conditions apply. See full draw rules for details.
Announcing all-you-can-eat dripping chicken sandwiches at St. Louis Bar and Grill. Mouthwatering buttermilk fried chicken breast. Ooh. On a garlic toasted brioche bun covered in crunchy pickles. Our legendary garlic dill sauce. And your choice of 17 different wing sauces. Oh my. All you can eat dripping chicken sandwiches, priced at just $18.99, only at St. Louis Bar and Grill.
Dine in only.
By joining the skilled trades, you'll make a living while making places to live. With over 140 skilled trades to choose from, there's more opportunity than ever to create a stable career for today and tomorrow. Building stronger communities right here in the place we call home. That's how we protect Ontario. Join the skilled trades. Learn more at ontario.ca/skilled trades. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
Golfers, Golftown trade-in days are back. This is your chance to upgrade your golf clubs for less. Trade in your old clubs and receive a 50% trade-in bonus towards new 2026 clubs. Visit golftown.com or visit one of our 48 locations for full details.
The legendary Yeti thrives in cold environments.
Just like my Subaru, all-wheel drive is like having an extra pair of Yeti legs.
The Yeti's natural habitat is in colder climates, but it's been spotted all over Canada.
Just like Subaru, we go everywhere, enjoying winter with the little ones. They grow up so fast. Legendary winters await, so hurry into your local Subaru dealer for lease and finance rates as low as 0.5%. Conditions apply. See dealer for details. Subaru, uncommon comes standard.
With Rogers Satellite, your phone can keep you connected where it never could before. Out on the road with no bars. Deep into cottage country. Even while hitting the slopes. Send texts, call family on WhatsApp, plan your route with Google Maps, and more with Rogers Satellite, Canada's first and only satellite-to-mobile service from a wireless provider. No one covers Canada like Rogers. Sign up today at rogers.com/satellite. We got you. Rogers.
This is the sound of the all-electric Toyota BZ helping you recharge at a spa retreat weekend. And this is the sound of a BZ recharging from 10 to 80% in as little as 30 minutes. Two extremes, one BZ with high-speed charging. Now's the time to get yours. It's time to Toyota. Lease a 2026 BZ XLE front-wheel drive from $122 weekly for 48 months at 1.99% with $4,500 down. Includes a $4,000 incentive. Visit shoptoyota.ca or your local Ontario Toyota dealer today. Under ideal conditions when using DC fast charging.
TA Appliances' huge home show savings event is on now. Enjoy TA exclusive savings on all the top brands. Plus, pay no tax, get free bonus gifts with select products, and enter to win great prizes. See the latest innovations in appliances, barbecues, espresso machines, and other convenient countertop appliances to complete any home. With TA's easy financing, you can take advantage of these amazing deals right now and book fast delivery. Shop one of 5 TA locations or online at taappliance.com.
Hey, it's Blake Murphy.
And I'm Matt Bonner.
Join us weekday mornings at 11 as we break down all things Toronto Raptors.
It's the Raptor Show on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and wherever you get your podcasts.
Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
All right, good hour continues with Ben Ennis. So, one byproduct of the World Baseball Classic I have found personally is I'm paying less attention to what's going on with the Blue Jays.
Sure.
Like, I'm still reading pieces, but... And listen, I'm not exactly Mr. can watch a ton of spring training in the first place at this point.
You're not all the way in on Josh Kasevich?
I actually am in on him.
Me too, buddy. I can't get enough Kasevich content.
I'm very in on that.
Yeah.
The things you want to know what I'm in on is my spring ins.
Yes.
I told you one already. Brendan Little.
Yes.
In.
Sure.
Believer.
Fine.
I will look. I'm prepared to look like a fool if he stinks.
No, he looked amazing for half the year last year.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm in on Kasevich.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I don't know.
I don't. I said it Kasevich at first, so now, and I've heard people say Kasevich. So I'm gonna get it wrong all the time. I think you're right that it's Kasevich.
I went with my
No, I think you got it. I'm the one who doesn't, but I'm very in on that. Like,
second round pick, and he's a robot. Like, Psycho hurts himself. He works so hard, he's just hurting himself.
Leo Jimenez, I wish you the best in your next destination.
Yeah.
I truly do. I hope you do very well. I hope that some people someday go, it could have been a Blue Jay. But you know who we got? Kasevich.
Yeah.
That was why'd they get rid of that guy? Oh, because we had Kasevich. Okay.
You mean Kasevich?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not a casual. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm glad we're both plugged into the same things.
Here's what else I'm in on.
What?
Max Scherzer's already throwing 95.
Yeah.
I was led to believe he was going to be slow rolled. Hey.
That's what he said.
Old Man River.
Yeah.
Take your time.
Uh-huh.
We'll see you when we see you. You're a manager. You're a glorified manager.
Yeah. You apparently had a say in whether they would pitch to Shohei Ohtani in the ninth inning of Game 7 of the World Series.
Very cool story. BNS got that one, right?
Yeah, cool, I think. And I don't know if you want to diverge. I had thoughts on that.
Yeah,
though.
quickly, give them to me. I don't want to get too sidetracked, but
no,
yeah.
I know. And it won't be that much, but it's like, whatever. If it had gotten to that point where the Blue Jays still had the 1-run lead, because I was very aware that he was projected to be the 27th out, right? Shohei Ohtani was going to be, if it was 3 up, 3 down in the before times for Jeff Hoffman in the 9th inning, it would have been because he got Shohei Ohtani to end the World Series in Game 7 of the 9th inning, protecting a 1-run lead. And that was a real, man, would imagine he hits the game-tying tank and you could have just walked him despite the incredible lineup that the Dodgers were trotting out there. And whether he did or didn't, it would have been the moment. And whatever happens in John Schneider's career, that would have been the biggest moment of his career. You can't, there's no bigger moment a manager can have. And for you to maybe not put it entirely on yourself, ask the player. And I get it.
You think he got to have an out going like, I did ask Max. Like,
I mean,
the podium.
What if he had said something counter to what he thought?
No.
What if he had been like, you know what? I think you walk him. And he was going to pitch to him. He's like,
You know what's good about this scenario is I actually did play it out in the moment, and I talked it out like at the baseball game, which was, I said, you can't walk him because he's going to steal.
Yeah.
Like you're not. Yeah. You have to pitch. You had to pitch to him.
I think it's a little different if it's tied, maybe even at that point. But, I think, the worst he can do is tie the game, which is, as we found out, even though it wasn't him, it was devastating.
Yeah,
but you still have a chance.
Yeah, of course.
Bases loaded, 1 out in the bottom of that inning. Anyways, I just thought it was interesting.
I sure wish it would have been more of a conversation.
Yeah.
That it would have been more relevant. Honestly, and had he been the guy that hit the home run, I could have lived with it.
Totally.
So, like, it would have been.
Totally.
If you could get me in a time machine right now and you go, hey, everything's going to be the same.
Yeah.
But it's Shohei that hits the bomb instead of Rojas, I would take that immediately.
And,
I'd go like, hey, you got beat by the best in the world. I tip the cap. It's Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
It's just who he is.
Again, I haven't gone back and watched it, but if I recall correctly, he hit a fly ball that wasn't exactly like a can of corn either, but he made it out.
Anyways, I'm in on Max Scherzer already throwing gas.
Yeah.
And now you've got the Trey Savage stuff where originally it was, hey, 50 pitches and he'll be good to go and we'll ramp him up. There was never an indication that he wasn't going to start the season in the rotation.
And they still haven't said as much, but he hasn't pitched in a spring game yet.
Yeah.
And I get it. This is true. You want the number of starters they have, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Super smart. And it may be week 3, 4 of the season that you need to really activate that. And thank goodness we've done that. Or a trade is coming that is in the works and they're waiting for that to be actualized that answers this question. But I'm looking at the schedule and I see 3 off days in the first 3 weeks of the season. And I see already 6 starters, 7 if you include Eric Lauer, but I understand like Eric Lauer and Trey Savage are a package deal. And we know that this team doesn't want to run 6 starters out there to begin with. And the way the off days work, it's like literally like it's a 7-man rotation and pitchers are starting every 7th day. They're not going to do that. So what is the thing that I see? Well, I see the one guy who's going to have his innings limited, at least at the beginning of the season, to protect him in the back half, which I understand, smart. There's no silver bullet here, though. So, like, the idea that this is perfect science, that, all of a sudden Trey Savage's elbow isn't going to explode isn't true either. But if they're going to do this thing, and I see a guy, it being March 10th already, he's not appeared in a spring game and not scheduled to appear in a spring game and is already going to be limited to start the year, and you only have a certain number of pitchers that you can bring up to the major leagues, and, okay, we're sure he's not starting in Buffalo. We're sure? Because I'm not. I haven't been convinced of that yet.
That's interesting. I'll say this. You're right about the silver bullet thing where, hey, there's no guarantees. Like, just because you're resting him doesn't mean that he's going to stay healthy, or it doesn't mean that it's going to work out.
No, it definitely worked for Steven Strasburg and Jabba Chamberlain.
But what I will say is that up until this point, it's been great. And the Blue Jays, as an organization, I would say you give more credit to in terms of the way that they've handled their pitchers, because the only guys that you would really point to and say, well, it didn't really work out was Manoah and Barrios.
Well, I think didn't they go through a real rash of pitcher injuries in the minor league level the last year or so?
Yes, but I'm saying like their big league staff in terms of the way that they've handled their starting arms has been really successful, and they've gotten the best out of a lot of different guys.
Part of that, though, has been because they've gone out and acquired fellas who have histories of staying healthy.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
And Trey Savage also, to
my
my knowledge,
Bassett's
doesn't
and the
have...
Barrioses of the world, like those are just, and
Cease.
Gossmans, No, I would just say that if you have the luxury of this starting pitching depth and you're concerned even a little bit about the workload that's going to be on Trey Savage this year, I just don't really see the downside to this. Like, I'm opposite, though, with Max Scherzer. That's where I was sort of going with this. Is like, Max Scherzer is 42 years old. And if he's throwing 95, 96 right now, and you can get the most out of him, I don't really want to slow roll that. I actually want to see him pitch immediately. And then, listen, no, I don't want anybody to get hurt. I'm just saying the idea that you would be trying to play it in a certain way to try to preserve Max Scherzer for later in the season.
No.
I know he got.
You mean that's Game 7 starter Max
Scherzer?
Yes,
but that's what I'm saying. I get that he had big moments for them last year, but to me, whatever you can get out of Max Scherzer, whenever you can get it, is when you should be taking it. Like Trey Savage, if they tell me he's starting the season in Buffalo, and obviously if there's something outside of this where
well, that's the thing too. Like 30 days, I think, off the major league roster, and they get an extra year of service.
Yeah, well, that I'm for.
Yeah, well, sure. I
hate
my
to
guess,
say it, but I am for that.
Here's my guess: Trey Savage and his representatives won't be as for that.
No.
And it seems like the relationship's good because they did the thing where they actually agreed to a salary this year instead of just renewed his salary, which is like some semantic thing. But Bo Bichette and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. just had their salaries renewed because if you're pre-arbitration player, the team can decide what you get paid.
Yeah.
And it's like your silent protest is that you won't agree to negotiate that or agree to sign on the dotted line. The team can enforce it on you. But Trey Savage and the Blue Jays have come together on a contract.
To me, I get why people are talking about this. I do. Obviously, he's the breakout star of the organization. He looks like the future of their pitching staff. He was unbelievable come postseason time. But at this point, I haven't been given any reason to not just be giving the Blue Jays the benefit of the doubt that they're saying, you know what, we want to monitor this guy's inning. He threw a lot last year. He went into the postseason. It was a big ask of this kid. We want to be super cautious because we think that having him later in the year, as you just saw in the playoffs, is unbelievably important to this ball club. And guess what? We have enough starting pitching to get by. So this is the way that we're going to operate. So just trust us. I trust you. I got no problem with that. The more interesting thing to me in terms of the follow to this is if Max Scherzer is pitching well, what's going to happen still with the Barrios and the Cody Ponces of the world? Because Ponce technically looks like someone who could go to the bullpen, and I can't imagine he'd be really making waves about that. Yeah. But the Barrios thing is interesting because so he's up to 94, right? I think he's touched 95 on the gun. So people are like, aha. But the nerd stuff is brutal for him.
Yeah.
The stuff plus is ugly for Jose Barrios. And I think he's going to get an opportunity to start the season to prove it on the big league club. But I do question what the length of his window of opportunity is for this team. Like, can he have 3 bad starts and keep that spot, or 3 mediocre? Like, what's the bar for Barrios is my biggest like point of curiosity. If Scherzer and Ponce both look good,
and I think I can see a scenario. Again, the Blue Jays they've said. Obviously, Trey Savage has established himself as a major leaguer, and he gives us our best opportunity to win, so he'll be with the Blue Jays.
I'm not going to worry about Trey Savage until they give me more reason to worry about Trey Savage. That's sort of my position.
Him being at the major leagues, you mean? Or you mean just the way they're handling it?
I think, again, if I felt as though they needed him to start the season, I'd be a little bit more like, God, I kind of wish.
I
but
think
this
you're
isn't
right.
Aaron Sanchez. Like, they're not deep into the season, and we're talking about, like, hey, should we push him a little bit?
And the other 5 guys that are going to be in the rotation.
Should be awesome.
All seem good, right?
This is why you have these guys. Like, this is why you stack it this way to be able to do stuff like this.
I think you're right. And I think generally speaking, the fan reaction would be that. It's like, we want to see Trey Savage. No, duh. And We think his upside is higher than those guys, but maybe not. And there's going to be learning curves. And if this is partly to protect him, we get it. The question comes, though, is if it, as soon as we see Jose Barrios or Cody Ponce or Max Scherzer, then we have a sample. It's like, okay, now it's a meritocracy. Because right now, like even as great as Max Scherzer was in his spring debut, 4 innings, hitless, whatever, who cares? Spring. Once we have a sample, even one start, because it'll start after one start, right? If we have what we had at the back end of the season for Jose Barrios, and you've got Trey Savage playing ball and being a good citizen, being in Buffalo, waiting for his turn, which will arrive, and waiting for the inevitable pitching injury or lack of performance, and it comes right out of the gates, and especially if it's with Jose Barrios, who has a whole nother bucket of problems because he has the opt-out at the end of this year, and if he doesn't opt out because he stinks, then you're saddled with this, like, it's horrible contract. Yeah, that's when it gets really interesting, where fans are like, yeah, we understand, because that guy is a former opening day starter. He's been a Cy Young award contender. Cody Ponce was the MVP of the Korean League, and you have $30 million invested in him. And Max Scherzer. He's throwing 95, maybe the best version of himself. But if any of those guys falter, it's now that you have something ready-made and maybe better than any of them, even on their best day. Waiting in Buffalo, say, that's when it gets interesting. And I think the pressure comes after one start.
Yeah, so I'm starting to get the feeling, I will say at least, that there's real potential for the opening day or the first turn through the rotation is Gausman, Cease, Barrios, Ponce, Lauer.
And no Scherzer?
No. And because I don't know if they're going to rush Scherzer into getting the first turn through the rotation.
I think Scherzer is starting one of those first 5 games, and Lauer is the long man in
behind
the
Scherzer.
Bullpen. Yeah, behind
I'm just saying
whoever.
first time through. Like, I'm not pushing the Scherzer stuff all the way back, but it does seem a little like, all right, or I'm just not positive that he's starting the season in the rotation.
I mean, he already threw, what did he throw? Like 40, 50 pitches in that game? Him and Barrios are the guys most
I'm just saying when they have the luxury of this situation, that they might do it a little bit with him to start the year is not overly far-fetched to me.
So he's just starting in the bullpen? Because the other thing, too, is, right?
Or he's just skipped a little bit. Like, they're not even.
But you can't waste a roster spot.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because they're going to need the bullpen. Like,
yeah, you're right.
Like,
so he's the 5th starter.
Yeah, I think he's the 5th starter, and Eric Lauer is your guy. If somebody has one of those starts that doesn't go necessarily as planned, can't get out of the 5th inning or something, that Eric Lauer is picking up the pieces and going as deep as possible. That's the other thing, too, is like, man, bullpen, that's why you need those optionable bullpen arms, because there's going to be lots of movement.
Yeah.
Early in the season especially. But, yeah, it's interesting to think about a team in this window of competitive cycle having a guy who could, hey, I don't know if this is going to happen for Trey Savage, but he could win a Cy Young award, could win it as early as this season. The heights, you can't tell me the highest highs that he's reached, he can't do that.
I'd be pretty surprised if he won it this season. Yeah.
Sure, because that means he's throwing like 200 innings.
Dark School pitching for his next contract versus a guy who's probably going to throw, 135, 140 innings.
Can't rule it out. But, yeah, that everybody, I bet you, I think you're right, would be fine with him starting in Buffalo, at least to start, until there's one of these guys that falters.
Yeah, you know what the other argument, too, for me with the whole baby Scherzer thing is not just the roster spot. It's what I said originally when I first looked at the contract, which is he gets $1 million for every 10 innings.
Yeah.
And so at some point, if he's healthy, he's not going to be like, hey, baby me. He'll go, I don't care how rich I am. You know what I like?
Money.
2 starts and $1 million.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, it's a meritocracy.
Yeah.
But there are tiebreakers, right? Like, that's not going to be a tiebreaker. And the Jose Barrios investment and the opt-out isn't going to be a tiebreaker.
I still feel, as much as they're talking meritocracy, I still feel in my bones, like, again, if you said everyone's back, right? Hey, they got Bieber's back and Scherzer's healthy and Savage is giving us the starting. I just don't believe. Well, I'll believe it when I see it, that they actually say to Cody Ponce, who's pitching even better than Jose Barrios, you're keeping your starter spot and we're moving Barrios to the pen, versus the other way around where they give Barrios a longer run, give him more of the contract, the credit, the name, even though he's not potentially pitching up to.
Totally. I agree with you. I think it's, and what
Like, you can say meritocracy. Let's see it.
Yeah. And I know everything, generally speaking, when it comes to pitching in Major League Baseball, it takes care of itself, right? Yeah.
Sure.
Somebody's got blah, 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 blah. No, but I think this is, at least at the beginning of the season, one of the most intriguing questions around this team. The most intriguing question because, there's no obvious solution unless you're doing the Trey Savage thing in Buffalo. But even that, it only buys you maybe one start.
I will say this, though, too. Even if you're just buying the one start, you tamper down a little bit of the pressure around the conversations with the starting rotation. It does feel like if you've got that ability, if you're worried about the kids' innings and you're not concerned about ramping them up, and this isn't a yo-yo situation too, right? Like, I think it's very hot takey for anybody that's like, oh, you're jerking them around. It's like, this isn't the Joe Biagini thing where they were like, and then the bullpen and then out of the thing. Like, they're handling him to be a starter, and they want him there in the late innings of the season. They want him there for playoff starts. So it's like, if you got to put him down in Buffalo and he's bought into the program and you're paying him money and you don't feel like it's fracturing the relationship in any way, I don't know. I just would look at that and say, sure. Like, I got no problem with that. If all those 5 guys, they're all getting a look through the rotation, you're having the meritocracy, you want to see them in live action. Like, to me, that's the best of all worlds.
Yeah, it's the only solution. Honestly, I don't see another one. Because you don't want to run a 6-man rotation to the best of times. You have 3 off days in the first 3 weeks of the season, and already a guy that's a long man in the bullpen who deserves to be in the rotation based on meritocracy last season anyways, and another guy coming over the horizon eventually, maybe in a month and a half's time, in Shane Bieber. I don't see any other solution to this thing, and it's not the worst thing in the world to have too many starters. There is actually a factual, easy solution. You don't lose anybody, right? There's no roster management issues by sending Trey Savage down to Buffalo for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I got no problem with it. I'll say, honestly, the thing I'm most worried about in terms of the back and forth is that Ponce potential where you go, hey, we are putting you in the bullpen, but then we are bringing you back to start, like if things don't work out, and then feeling as though, maybe you just let the KBO guy settle in with one role.
Yeah.
Rather than have to have him adjust to the 2 things on the fly. Anyway, subscribe to this podcast, leave 5 stars, reach out anytime on Twitter and Instagram at JD Bunkis. Thanks to Ben Ennis. Quick break. We'll come back, talk to James Palmer about a busy day in the NFL.
Time to head out the door, but your garage door won't cooperate. One quick call to Precision Garage Door Service and the experts are on site, fast, getting you back on your way. Precision Garage Door Service now proudly serves the GTA with honest pricing, quality workmanship, and service you can truly trust. Visit precisiongarage.ca and experience the precision difference.
Precision Garage Door Service, a name you can trust.
It's Subway's Lunch, Not Luck, where it's a win every day of the week. What's the win? Take it away, Kyle.
It's Subway's Meal of the Day, only $7.99. A 6-inch sub, a drink and chips, or 2 cookies. Enjoy a different sub every day, like Veggie Delight on Monday, Cold Cut Combo on Wednesday, or even Sweet Onion Chicken Teriyaki on Sunday.
That's right. 7 days, 7 meals, $7.99 each. Subway's Meal of the Day. Winning isn't luck, it's lunch.
Price and participation may vary. Extras, bottled beverages, taxes, and fees for delivery additional.
Now that Volksfest is back, the phones at Volkswagen have been very busy. Volkswagen, how can I help?
1.99% financing for up to 36 months on the 7-seat Atlas, the affordable Taos, and more? You can't be serious.
We are. And don't make any payments for 90 days.
90 days? That's a lot of days.
It sure is. But Volksfest is only on until March 31st at your local Volkswagen dealer.
March 31st? I gotta go.
Don't miss our biggest deals of the season at Volksfest. Conditions apply.
Volkswagen. Contractors, restaurant owners, online sellers, beauticians. Thousands of small business owners choose Zensurance. And here's why. Because Zensurance offers business insurance from $19 per month. 100% online. Be protected. Be Zen.
Ontario is helping you keep more of what's yours. We cut gas and fuel taxes, saving households an average of $435. We scrapped the license plate sticker fee, saving you up to $720. We introduced One Fare, saving commuters on average $1,600 each and every year. And since 2018, we've never raised taxes, keeping costs down for families, workers, and businesses across the province. Learn more at ontario.ca/keeping costs down. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
Did you know the plasma in your blood is used to create medications that boost the immune system of people fighting cancer? Advancements in clinical care have led to new life-saving uses for plasma, and with that, a new need for donors. Canada needs more blood and plasma donors than ever before because we're saving more lives than ever before.
Help Canada reach 1 million new donors by 2030. Book an appointment today at blood.ca/plasma and experience what you get when you give. Canadian Blood Services. Who's saving who?
Golfers, Golftown trade-in days are back. This is your chance to upgrade your golf clubs for less. Trade in your old clubs and receive a 50% trade-in bonus towards new 2026 clubs. Visit golftown.com or visit one of our 48 locations for full details.
Some deals are too good to be real. Not at Tim's. For just $8.99, get a hearty loaded wrap with wedges and a Coke. A real meal. And for $8.99, a real deal. Try it at Tim's. Plus tax. At participating restaurants in Canada for limited time. Terms apply.
Now until Wednesday, visit Shoppers Drug Mart for the bonus redemption event and get more for your points. Offer valid in-store and online.
CJCL Toronto.
What a day for the NFL. NFL free agency always sneaks up on me. I know that doesn't for our next guest because he is the co-host of Scoop City at The Athletic and NFL insider for Bleacher Report. It is James Palmer, who you ran into a moose over the weekend with the dogs. I actually, you know what's crazy is that video was one of those things where it took me a minute to realize that it was your Instagram. Like, I just thought that was one of the many animal accounts that I follow, like dogs. A lot of my Instagram is just dog stuff. Like, it's a lot of dog content. So it took me like, I don't know, the whole viewing to realize that was yours. But yeah, the moose, your dogs, man, they were ready to protect you.
I mean, listen, here's the thing. I've gotten a lot of crap on this video. I had no idea. Everybody's like, what was that guy's name? Caesar or whatever it is, the professional dog trainer.
He got in on it?
Everybody's interested in these dogs. Like,
Right.
you know, everybody's going, hey, they're not listening. And I'm like, listen, these
They saw
are
moose.
not my dogs.
Oh, okay.
They're not my dogs. They're my buddy's dogs. We're up at his cabin and he's like, you know, when you let my dogs out in the morning before we, you know, head out for the day, and you know, they're going crazy, and all of a sudden they come face to face with this guy, and he's got a pretty good rack on him, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, they're not listening. I'm like, two things. One, not my dogs. Two, you have no idea what a dog's going to do when he sees a moose. Like, you have
100%.
no idea. You know what I mean? They're animals, man. But it was wild.
I
We were
love
face
that.
to face.
I love that
Yeah.
the first reaction of people is just like, how could you not control what are not
Yeah.
your dogs? I will say this, though. There is something like, it feels so bad when you take someone else's dog for a walk. You know, you do someone else a favor and take their dog out, or you bring them to a dog park, or they're pulling on the leash, and people see you, especially. I think it's worse as a man, where like a dog is pulling you around, and you're like, heel, and it's not listening. People walk by you, and you're like, you just want to say, this isn't my dog, this is my friend's dog. Or you take it to a dog park, and it steals some other dog's toy, and the owner wants it back. And you're like, come here, and it doesn't listen. It sucks. It's a horrible feeling.
I need a t-shirt. I think you should wear a t-shirt when you're
Not
in the
my
process.
dog, yes.
Just as a not my dog.
Yeah.
Being awesome. Not my dog. Being a
Yes.
great friend.
Yeah.
Because that's essentially what I was doing. But I was just terrified. I was like, I'm going to lose one of these dogs to this moose, because that happens up by our place up there all the time. And sadly. And so, like, luckily this guy was a young bull, kind of played it cool a little bit. But everybody came out all right.
Dude, yeah, it was cool to see that thing up close. Like, you know,
Yeah,
you got to be like that little bit of intimidation, but then once you settle in, you're like, man, that's cool. Like, look at the size.
I mean,
of this thing.
afterwards is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah,
Kids
cool.
watching from inside was great.
Yeah.
I'm out there.
yeah, the kids from inside, they got a good view. All right, so let's, again, a lot of transactions yesterday. Surprisingly for me, a lot of moves that I actually really liked. Normally, free agency is a time of the year where you look at a lot of deals and you go, oh, it's silly season, or I can't believe this guy got this. But I'll just start with this. What was your favorite move of the day yesterday, or just so far?
Honestly, you know what it is? In free agency, you overpay, right?
Yep.
All the time. Everybody overpays. You know what's going to happen. If you play quarterback, or you get after the quarterback, you're going to get paid. And the pass rushers definitely got paid. And you saw that with Jalen Phillips getting snaked from the Eagles and what the Panthers paid. But to me, was Tyler Linderbaum was my favorite move, honestly. And it's because of this. Everybody was like, there's no way this guy gets $25 million a year as a center. The market and the high for the market is Creed Humphrey with the Chiefs at 18, and he wants 25. And everybody's like, no way, man, you're going to get 20, 22, maybe somewhere in there. And I started hearing yesterday morning, like, no, this is going to be up there. And then the Raiders go and give him 27 a year. I mean, just exploding the market. But the reason I like the move is they had so much room. It's not even funny. Like the NFL actually has a minimum you have to spend, and the Raiders were like below that. They got to spend some money. And then the other part is this is a force multiplier, in all honesty, for your two best players, probably. Your quarterback coming in, who we all assume is going to be Fernando Mendoza, getting a star center directly in front of him on a bad offensive line that was coached poorly last year, is a great thing to have at the start of this kid's career, for sure. To have a veteran, smart center right in front of him. 2, Ashton Jeanty was hit at or behind the line of scrimmage on like 60% of his runs last year, and you picked him in the top 10. You need to start having that pick pay off. So the 2 top picks that you're having last year and this year are going to benefit from the move that you made with Tyler Linderbaum in the middle of that offensive line. So to me, that was the move that stood out, because it not only impacts the Raiders' biggest weakness, which was their offensive line, it also impacts their last 2 top of the draft picks.
I totally agree. It's the exact same one that I had, and I'm so glad that you brought up the Jeanty element of this, because I think that was what was overlooked. Is everyone's going to talk about, oh, you're taking a rookie quarterback, you get a smart signal caller under center, you start that relationship with a good offensive line. It's like, yes, great, awesome. I totally agree. That's a smart signing to do. You had the money. If you're going to build around a young quarterback, I want to see you build out that offensive line, right? Give him the best chance possible, and this guy is a bona fide stud. But where Tyler Linderbaum grades out the best is, I believe, according to Pro Football Focus, he's like a top 3 run blocking center in the NFL. You put that draft capital in Ashton Jeanty, I want to see that pay off. Look at what Baltimore did so effectively the last couple seasons. They ran the ball. You can't have this thing turn into a situation where people are starting to really question that draft pick. If you want to be a run-first team, you got to run-first center. I got no issue with this thing. I'm honestly, the only thing I'm really looking at it from in terms of the loser of this is the Baltimore Ravens for not giving them that 5th-year option, because I don't really understand how a team that likes to run the ball as much as they do, who's in the competitive cycle that they're in, overlooked that one. Like that, they misread the market so badly.
There's that aspect of it, and the aspect of, like, when you get towards the back end of these contracts, sadly for the center position, and this is something the NFL needs to correct in terms of the tag, and if you wanted to keep him and tag him and move it on, it's offensive linemen together, right? It's tackles included. So the tag price would have been the top 5, let's just say it would have been the top 5 tackle prices averaged together over the last 5 years, and that's how you would get the tag. Tackles, obviously, you get paid a lot more than centers. This is something, again, that the league needs to try to figure out, because you're sitting there going like, well, this guy plays center. Why are we going off of the tackle numbers? And this is one of those instances where very rarely a player with no red flags reaches free agency. A lot like Alec Pierce, when a player has really nothing that really off the field, on the field, that was a reason why they hit free agency, because so few guys do now that have no red flags. That's when teams try to pounce, and that's what they did with Linderbaum. And so, yeah, I think the other part that the Ravens were not willing to budge on, when you mentioned years, is they wanted a 4-year contract. And Tyler Linderbaum wanted a 3-year contract. Why? Because he's 26 years old. So in 3 years, he'll be 29, not 30. And that year 30 matters in the league. It really, really does. So he gets another bite of free agency still in his 20s. That's what he was shooting for. And he gets a chance to go out there again in 3 years and try to get another massive payday by telling everybody. And it just does matter in GM's minds that he's in his 20s, not his 30s. And that was a sticking point as well for this deal to get done in terms of the length.
So if that's your favorite move, what was your biggest head scratcher?
Let me think here. I'm trying to look at my notes here. I think the Mike Evans one was a bit of a head scratcher. Everybody did assume he was going to go back to Tampa. Everybody in that building, I'd probably say 5 days ago, was saying, I get he wants to test free agency. A lot of guys do it. A lot of guys do it to try to squeeze some more money out of the team they're probably going to go back to. This is a franchise legend, right? This is a first ballot, probably Hall of Famer, I think. And then essentially, as soon as he's eligible, will go into the Ring of Honor, as he's the greatest offensive player in the history of the franchise. It's a head scratcher because what has the San Francisco 49ers had issues with? guys staying healthy at the receiver position. What does Mike Evans have every single year?
Hamstring.
A hamstring injury. It just happens. And somehow he still produces. He still puts up money. But it's almost a lock now at, what is he, 32, going into his 33 season, that he's going to have some sort of injury issue. And to me, if that's what's been the revolving door out of that group, obviously they dealt with a lot of injuries last year, but Ricky Pearsall's had a tough time staying on the field, but he produces. Mike Evans, same thing. So, I mean, I think he's going to be outstanding when he's on the field. I think the red zone's going to be great. But to me, it's a little bit interesting. But it did check all the boxes that Mike wanted. I just have a team that was so fearful of injuries last year gets a guy that you're almost guaranteed to probably miss a couple of games with a hamstring injury.
Yeah, him versus the power plant is going to be a fascinating matchup.
Oh, boy.
If Mike Evans stays healthy with the hamstring this year, we got to put the power plant stuff to bed. Like, there's just
That's what the power plant people are hoping. They're like, this guy coming here, if he's 100%, this might get some people off our back.
I thought about that. I was like, this is such a great PR move if he can stay healthy for an entire season. And they go, listen, you said it was soft muscle injuries. That's what this guy suffered from already. And we kept him healthy for an entire year versus the power plant. We don't want to hear any more noise about that. And in fact, we can calm down the players in our locker room who at one point last year were already starting to really give it some credence by addressing it with media members and wondering if there was reality to the situation. I will say I'm a little bummed he's not a Buccaneer for life. I just thought it was a cool opportunity for Tampa to have a guy who was going to go to the Hall of Fame and be able to say, hey, he wore one uniform for the entirety of his career. It's a rarity in this league. He's, loved by the community. He's important to the Buccaneers. I think it's going to be strange to see him in a different uniform. But I also got to say, this brings me to kind of my head scratcher, which is, I really wanted to see him be a Buffalo Bill. Like, when this offseason started, I thought, man, what a perfect fit if you can convince this guy to come play with Josh Allen as that jump ball target that they drafted Keon Coleman to be. Like, Josh Allen clearly wants it. It's the number one thing that's missing in that offense. And instead, they go out and get DJ Moore, who I think is a fine player. Like, listen, I'm not anti-DJ Moore. I don't think that the season that he just put together is representative of, like, what his ceiling is now. I'm not overly concerned about the age or anything along those lines. But when I think about DJ Moore's game, I'm like, yeah, all right, there's at least some similarities to Khalil Shakir in terms of what kind of receiver you are. And I thought that if you got him as move A to go out and make an even bigger splash and add a Mike Evans, I would have loved their receiver room. But if the Bills are just kind of doing this, and now after re-signing Connor McGovern, which I like that move, that's awesome. Like, you keep the continuity on your offensive line, great. But if the only move for their receiver group is go out and spend a second-round pick when the market was projecting that it was going to be a fourth at best for DJ Moore, and maybe you can explain what happened there, I don't really get the sense that the ceiling from their receiver group has, like, changed in a way where I go, oh, yeah, you know what? They've completely capitalized on this moment where the Chiefs are down. I trust that this offense is going to hum in a completely different fashion next season.
Yeah, this is one of the moves that it's polarizing. People really have opinions on this DJ Moore trade. And some people are really far apart in terms of their view to it. My information on it is this. I knew, and I'd been saying it on our show on the Bleacher Report for several weeks, that DJ Moore is going to be on the block. There's no chemistry and connection between him and Caleb Williams. It was pretty evident to see. You could see that Caleb was starting to really not look his way nearly as much. Caleb's going to grow with that young group of Luther Burden and Rome Odunze and Colston Loveland, and they're going to kind of continue to grow as a young nucleus in terms of the skill guys and the quarterback. And so this year was really nowhere near the type of player that DJ Moore is. He's a professional wide receiver. I say that in terms of Caleb is a very freelancing type of player. Stuff isn't on time. Stuff isn't really exactly where it's supposed to be in terms of timing. And it's just not a great fit. I think you put him back in a Joe Brady offense where Joe had him for 2 years in Carolina and he went over 1,000 yards in each one of those seasons. He knows exactly how to use them. The yards after the catch, I think, are going to be really important. Now, the guaranteeings of the contract are the other part that makes everybody scratch their head, because with the deal happening, Buffalo ends up guaranteeing some of the money into 2028. But if you do look at it, and he plays the way a lot of people do believe he's a top 10 receiver, if he plays that way, stays healthy, by year 3, we're going to be going, this was a bargain in terms of price, where the receiver market is skyrocketing. This is going to be a bargain in terms of price and where he's at within the contract. I would say this. I had a long conversation with Joe Brady at the Combine, and Joe wants to, first he told me, we have to get something else for Josh. And okay, they did do that. 2, he's like, I need to find more ways and keep an eye on me finding more ways to use Khalil Shakir. Like, I think I can do other things with him as a receiver. We haven't unlocked him. If he's quietly considered around the league like one of the most underrated pass catchers in football. Like, he is a really, really good player. And so I think they specifically have a plan. I think that's a big part of it. I mean, when I texted the guys there, they were ecstatic about the move for DJ Moore. And I think when you look at some of these receiver prices, it was like, let's get ahead of the market until we have to start bidding on guys with other teams. You saw the Cowboys kind of do that with Rashawn Gary in the trade that they made before the numbers went bonkers on the pass rushers. So this could not work out. It certainly could. But if it does, and it hits the way the Bills think it hits, I think Brandon Beane's actually going to look pretty bright in a couple of years about what they ended up going out and doing. And so with both tight ends and Shakir and the run game, I think they didn't need to add too much more than this, considering you change things schematically, defensively, and you got to make some moves on that side of the ball too.
Yeah, again, I think I'm closer to the middle on it, where I'm not overwhelmed by.
I'm like let's wait and see. That's where I'm at right now. Like, let's see how this plays out.
Which is the reasonable approach for this thing. I just think for me, the main thing was, if you're going to be using a second-round pick, and you're right that it could look like a stroke of genius, but given where we're at, where DJ Moore is a player who had walked off the field during play with the Chicago Bears. Like, the writing was very much on the wall that he was going to be out of there. I am curious about the amount of teams that you were bidding against where you had to sacrifice a second-round pick and eat that money, as though there were like 2, 3. I know you only need one other team to be bidding against you in that situation, but it certainly didn't seem like, coming out of Chicago, people thought that there was going to be a bidding war over DJ Moore's services to that price point.
Yeah, I think the one thing I got from around the league was, man, I would have loved this trade for Buffalo if they gave up a third instead of a second. Some people, with the way the compensation worked, think it almost is a third. I don't know if it's really that. I think giving up a second was a good amount for a guy that you knew was not probably part of the Bears' future. With Drew Dahlman's retirement, they had another need, and you were knowing that they were trying to free up cap space to try to make some other moves. With all of that known, I go back and forth. There's certain guys, I'll just throw it out there. I was having a conversation with Mike LaFleur a couple of weeks ago, and Mike was like, if you love the player, you love the player.
Yeah.
I don't care where you draft him. I don't care what you pay. If you love him and you know it's going to work, do it. Like, he was talking about running backs in the draft, essentially. There's no rule on what you should do, but enough teams are like, well, that's too high. And Mike's like, if you love the guy and you think it works, just do it. Denver did that, and everybody was like, you could have gotten Bo Nix in the second round. But Denver's like, oh, I don't want to take a chance. We want to get him. And I think Buffalo had a little bit of that thought process of, we don't want to take a chance of losing him. This is the player we want. And we want to go out and get the receiver before, in all honesty, a pretty thin wide receiver free agent class.
Yeah. That would make me feel more confident if I was a Bills fan, though. The Joe Brady element, knowing that there is a certainty that you're getting with the player, and also feeling like, I think that those kinds of receivers where they're coming off of the year where people are doubting them, where people are questioning the character and whether or not they're too big of a diva, like some of that stuff popped up with DJ Moore, that year one in Buffalo in particular is going to be huge for him, a best behavior year, and I think that you're probably going to get a lot out of him. And so, to me, it's
I will say I host a show.
Yeah,
I will say I host a show with a guy named Steve Smith who literally calls DJ Moore his spirit animal.
Yeah.
So that is, if anybody wants to put that out there, that's essentially the connection there of kind of DJ and
if he can be Ravens
wired.
Steve Smith, like where it's the secondary stop, but it turns out to be great, and he's got crazy stiff arm highlights, and he's running after the catch and scoring touchdowns.
His yak is awesome.
Yeah.
And I think in this offense, his yak's going to be great.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit more in on that after your answer. All right, here's the other one that I really want your thoughts on, which is, what happened with the Cardinals and Malik Willis? Because I also thought that was basically like, when we looked at this thing, it was like, hey, look at the Cardinals' pass-catching options. They seem to have guys that you would really want to take a step this year. They've got a coach who's the brother of the guy that just developed Malik Willis, and you would think would be giving the intel saying, yo, this is the guy. Go out and get this guy. Look at what we've done with him over the last couple of years. And then he ends up in Miami, who has an incredible amount of dead cap money, and I don't really feel as though Miami's in a position where they're going to go anywhere. I did a show on the Lebertard Network this week with Dave Damashek, and they bring in the producers.
Oh, and I said hello.
Well, and I asked those guys, like, what they feel about if it was going to be Malik Willis, and they were all adamantly against. They wanted the Quinn Ewers year. They wanted a tank year, a reset year. And now it's like you're bringing in a guy who has a lot to prove in an offense that has a lot to prove with a cap situation that is extremely limited. And I got to say, I'm surprised from less so Miami's standpoint, more so the Cardinals, who have drafted and developed a couple of guys that really do look like unreal weapons. And now what Gardner Minshew and a draft pick, it seems a little odd to me that they were not more aggressive for this player.
I would say I don't think Arizona's done at their quarterback room.
Yeah.
I think there's talking to them yesterday. I think there's a lot of guys they were looking at. Malik was certainly one of them. And you're right. Mike probably had more intel than maybe any other team except the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Honestly, because the Dolphins head coach goes against that scout team as their defensive coordinator every single day. He knows everything that Malik Willis can do, and I think more importantly, he knows everything that Malik Willis can't do. And same thing with John Eric Sullivan, who comes from Green Bay as well, who's their new general manager. So I think talking around the league, this was a gamble. And I was definitely getting some sense from some people going, I'd like to see Quinn Ewers. I'd like to see him another year. I'd like to see what he can do. He actually impressed some people in Miami for sure. But I think this was one of the worst kept secrets in the NFL that Miami was going to go land him. It was just, is the price going to get higher than what they're comfortable with? Because you mentioned that dead cap money with Tua, where it's going to be over $67 million this year that they can't use. That is insane. I will say one nugget. This is more money than the Russell Wilson release a few years ago, but it actually is a smaller percentage of the cap than Russell Wilson's release, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
so
of
more
course.
dollars, but less percentage of what you're able to spend because the cap's gone up so much. So this is certainly a gamble. But I do know everybody in Green Bay did see a couple of things that improved. One, working with Tom Clemens, who worked with Favre and worked with Rodgers and worked with Love, improving Malik Willis's footwork. That's actually helped with his accuracy some. The poise in the pocket was something that impressed some people as well. But there's a very limited sample size, very limited sample size. And I'm curious if Arizona was looking more towards I want a clean slate, and I want exactly the type of quarterback that plays the style that I want, and that's what Mike was looking at. I know that Mike had no interest in Kyler Murray at all in keeping him. I could see some playmaking type of scrambling type of connections between Malik Willis and Kyler Murray. And so I know that a lot of people were saying, why not Arizona? But most of the league was saying he's going to land in Miami unless the price gets too high. And it didn't really get as high as some people thought it was going to get. And so I think that's essentially why he ended up landing there. And maybe, and this oftentimes happens, they think they're closer than they are. I don't think they are. But if they feel like they hit on the quarterback and that could be their long-term solution, they feel like they've won. I just think Arizona is going a little bit more of a lengthy look here and evaluating other quarterbacks. I would keep an eye on Jimmy Garoppolo. He has an unbelievable relationship with Mike LaFleur from their time with the Rams together. Does he find a way to bring him into the mix? It's interesting that they brought in Gardner. I thought that was a little bit of a head scratcher. But Jacoby Brissett played better than Kyler Murray last year. He's a decent while I build our roster type of starter if that's what they have to go with.
Right.
Maybe they love Ty Simpson. We'll see what they end up doing.
Yeah, there is a little Ty Simpson buzz. There definitely is a touch of that, as I'm sure you're very aware. The Gardner Minshew thing, I can't think of something that would excite me less at this point as a fan.
And I love Gardner as a guy.
Yeah, sure. I like him as a guy. I once had a friend who worked here. He had a great saying where he's like, if he's such a great guy in the room, leave him there. And that's the situation I think it is with Gardner Minshew. I think that it's fair for them to not be hyper aggressive with a guy like Willis and try to push the winning cycle, especially given the nature of their division, where you're looking at it and going, hey, we got the defending Super Bowl champions, the betting odds favorite in the Los Angeles Rams, and a Niners team that continues to gear up and try to push for a Super Bowl. This might not be our window. It might be fine to be patient. I actually am a Willis believer. I really want to see him work out. I think the talent is there. I just do wonder with that situation in Miami, how it's going to go. And I would have been a little bit more excited if he was a Cardinal in terms of feeling like, all right, he's going to be throwing to Trey McBride. He's going to be throwing to Harrison. He's going to be with a like-minded offensive mind to start his career there. I would have had more faith that it was going to work out. And now I would say it's a bit of a drop-off for me in terms of my expectation for Willis next year.
Yeah, I agree. And there's a very similar situation with Bobby Slowick running the offense in Miami, who's also a disciple from that group. And if you remember what Bobby did in CJ Stroud's first year in Houston, I mean, he was playing like a top 7 quarterback in football. And so he'll dumb it down and make it easy. That was one of the things I did here. Like Matt dumbed it down a lot up there in Green Bay for those games, and it was successful. Can you play a full season like that? We'll find out. But I do think it's interesting. You brought up a point that I haven't said to anybody, and now I'm kind of thinking about it when you brought up Arizona. We're all completely fine with the Jets kind of punting on the quarterback position in 2026 because we know they have enough capital to go after a quarterback in 27 in a very, very deep and talented quarterback class, that we expect, right? We always expect that. We'll see what happens in this college season. But we're expecting this to be an outstanding quarterback class in 27. Well, why can't the Cardinals have the exact same type of thinking? They could have the exact same process in their head going, 27's our year for the franchise quarterback. We're completely cool with the Jets feeling that way right now. We're all going like, why didn't the Cardinals go after Malik Willis? Maybe they have the same sense in thinking.
Yeah. All right, so speaking of the Jets, where does Kyler Murray land?
I really think the odds-on favorite is Minnesota.
Yeah.
I really do. And, we're in a very rare spot where you just saw it happen with Tua Tagovailoa yesterday, that these guys get to pick strictly and have their conversations with these teams about football. It's nothing about finance. There's nothing about money. Tua's playing for $1.3 million this year, the league minimum, and Miami gets the rest of it. Kyler's in the exact same boat, so he can pick what's the best situation for him. Tua picked Atlanta mainly because it's an opportunity for the team to take advantage of him with Michael Penix coming back and him to take advantage of Atlanta and kind of use them for a year to rebuild his image and the perception the league has for him. So he's more appealing maybe to teams in 2027. Kyler is looking at it the exact same way. Obviously, Arizona didn't work. He didn't want to go back there. They didn't want him. He actually didn't really think that they were going to make the move for some reason, but they didn't want him at all. And so now he has the ability to go pick something strictly on football. And if you're picking strictly on football, why wouldn't you want to spend a year with Kevin O'Connell?
Of course.
Why wouldn't you want to spend a year with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison? And so a team that is very close to contending. And in a position where you're going against a guy who has shown us nothing at the NFL level, in all honesty. No slight to J.J. McCarthy, but we just haven't seen anything. And we haven't seen him stay healthy either. So if you're looking for an opportunity to have reps, you're looking for an opportunity where you can win, it's very similar to when Daniel Jones just said, like, Kevin, I love being with you. Thanks for the year. I'm going to go beat out Anthony Richardson in Indianapolis. And he did. And I think Kyler probably has a very similar thought process of I can go beat J.J. McCarthy out. And there's some people around the league going, this isn't a lose situation. If he goes to Minnesota, he can get better. Kevin can see what he has and work with a playmaker who might end up being their starter this year, who might end up being their long-term starter, in all honesty. And then the flip side is, if it doesn't work out, he's a pretty decent trade commodity with no salary at the deadline in mid-season. And so I don't see how the Vikings could look at this and be a losing situation when there's two main things that they're looking for, I was told, this offseason. One, competition for J.J. McCarthy, because they think it's going to bring out the best in him, and hopefully it does. And then two, they're looking for their next reclamation project, which they've done with Sam Darnold. They've kind of helped in sense with Daniel Jones. They're looking for another one. They think they're very good at it. And that could be Kyler Murray. And so I do think they have other options, but I think Kyler and the Vikings just make too much sense. I do know he has a little bit of like an eye for the Colts if things don't go well on this Daniel Jones contract, which still isn't done.
Oh, yeah, he wants a lot of money.
Slither in there and go like, hey, guys, I can come in here. I know he has a little bit of an eye there, but I think it's Minnesota.
I got to tell you, I kind of like him more in Indiana. Like if that ends up being an open door situation for him, I just think about like the way that offense looked last season, and another good offensive mind. I don't know that track, like just and I know Minnesota's a dome as well, but there's something about Kyler Murray
games in that division too.
That's the thing is I don't know. I kind of like him more as an AFC South quarterback than I do as an AFC North quarterback. My only thing with because you make a lot of great points as to why this would work, and if I was a Vikings fan, I'd be hoping for this, right? I do think that there is something a little funny about Sam Darnold being the quarterback that had a tough go in a tough situation. The world gives up on him, even though he's a pedigree guy. And I do think that his pedigree coming out of college was higher than J.J. McCarthy's, even though McCarthy was a national champion, obviously. But that they would be potentially moving off of a guy and being like, we just don't think he's the one, and opening the door for J.J. McCarthy someday to become the next Sam Darnold. They write him off. and the Vikings losing out on both those guys to go win Super Bowls. Like, that's my kind of dream outline scenario. But it does feel like a pretty damning indictment of the J.J. McCarthy era if you're bringing in this quarterback, because to me, there's just no way that's an actual competition. If Kyler Murray's a Minnesota Viking, that means he's the starting quarterback next year, especially if he's signing for that money.
There certainly is a very good chance he could win the job. And I think they want to see, honestly, how this environment could impact JJ and how it could bring something else out of him. I think you're spot on. I think Sam Darnold was a much better prospect coming out than JJ McCarthy. I always go back to talking to an offensive coordinator during that draft process with all of those quarterbacks coming out, and Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams and JJ McCarthy, Bo Nix, Michael Penix, all of them. And he said something to me that just made too much sense. He was like, if you're a top 10 pick as a quarterback on a national championship winning team or a very talented team, I don't care how good the rest of the roster is. The offense should be completely predicated off of you. If you're a top 10 NFL pick, the whole offense should operate around you. I don't care how good your run game is. Like, if you're that talented, how are they not utilizing you throughout the entire course of the game? And he barely threw the ball at Michigan. Like, barely threw the ball. He wasn't really part of why they won. I mean, obviously you don't want to take anything away from the quarterback, but like, there's a lot of reasons why they won the national championship, and it wasn't like they ever put things on his shoulders.
Yeah, a lot of it was about his aura, right? Like, it was like, look at how he prepares for games. He's a winner. It wasn't like, hey, look at the tape, look at the throws.
Exactly. And so I always go back and look at that and go, that part kind of jumps out at me big time. And so I do think they want to protect themselves, certainly. Is Kyler their only option? No, I think Geno Smith is a very easy option that you could put there as well. I don't see Kirk as much of an option. They're trying to trade Jonathan Grenard. Could they go and trade for Mac Jones or something like that? I think those options are out there for teams if they want to go the Mac Jones, Tyson Bagent, Tanner McKee type of route and trade a second-day pick for one of those quarterbacks. But Geno's not going to really cost you anything either. And you have it's very easy to bench Geno and go to JJ or vice versa. But I just do think there's enough that you can try to unlock with Kyler. And Sam wanted to come back. It was just like it changed in terms of value the way the season ended. And everything with this is value. And Kyler is a lot of value for very few dollars.
I'll tell you right now, I know a lot of Minnesota Vikings fans. If that comes up, if James Palmer today tweets, Geno Smith going to Minnesota. Don't read your mentions. Well, actually, read your mentions.
Well, we can't tweet it yet today. We can't do it yet today. No, these guys can't make a move until Wednesday.
I know, but it's just like, oh, Lee, I can't to lose out on Darnold, watch him go win in Seattle, and Seattle move off of Geno, and then he ends up being in Minnesota. Oh God, I can't think of something that would be more painful and torturous for a fan base that's already been tortured enough. James,
I will say really quickly, a lot of people didn't think Geno played that badly last year, that the offense was just yuck. It was awful with Chip Kelly, that the offense actually made him worse. And some people do have a little bit better perception, I would say, of Geno. Sure. I'm not saying it's through the roof, right? But I do think people think of this past year as an outlier.
Well, I think some people have to, because a lot of football people kind of put it out reputationally that Seattle made a huge mistake going to Darnold over Geno Smith. He had some analytic darling stuff with the throws, especially the accuracy down the field. And then the way that the season went was such a big, colossal L for the people that staked themselves in the position that Seattle was the ones making a mistake, that you have to say Geno Smith is still good. You have to say that this is a guy that could rebound the following season. You can't just give up after 1 year. You got to keep it going. Man, super generous with the time today. I know how busy it is. I really do appreciate you jumping on, especially late. Thanks for doing this, James. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
All right. Sounds good, man. Good seeing you.
James Palmer, NFL insider at Bleacher Report and Scoop City at The Athletic. Quickly, just one last free agent thing is my Seahawks. It sucks to see them lose Kenneth Walker. I really thought that they were going to be able to work something out. You saw he gets more guaranteed money than any running back in NFL history, and immediately you go, well, that makes sense. It's kind of understandable that they let that guy walk. The only thing is that still drives me crazy about the NFL is it's just impossible to really understand the salary cap. I just don't have any grasp over it whatsoever. Because, again, you look at different sites, and I know Seattle has contracts coming up, or, a team like Kansas City where he goes to. They dump Trent McDuffie. They lose essentially their secondary, and then they decide that they want a running back in a year where we're not really sure if they're all in on Patrick Mahomes. There's a few of these teams that I thought were, incredibly capped out, that we're not going to be able to make moves, that have been making some moves. And then you got Seattle, who, apparently has all this cap space. doesn't want to sign their free agent running back, is going to go to a weak draft class for RBs, according to the people who know. I don't know. I have no idea. Again, like last year, if you go through the NFL draft, it's like Monungai was a 7th-round pick. Woody Marks, the kid that was awesome for a decent stretch with the Texans last season, I think he was a 5th-round pick. Like, there was a bunch of hits later in the draft. You can obviously find those guys. I do think it's a little risky when you have a proven concept and you're trying to run back a Super Bowl winner, but I was glad that they at least were able to bring back a couple of their guys. Anyways, quick break. We'll hit what we missed.
We're your home of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Hear the action on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, streaming on the Sportsnet app and at sportsnet.ca/590.
This week at Real Canadian Superstore, get a 3 to 5 kilogram Butterball frozen turkey for only $1.99 a pound. Plus, get it delivered with your first year of PC Express Pass at just $2.50 per month. Conditions apply. See flyer for details at superstore.ca/flyer.
Psst. Did you hear that Tuesday's Lotto Max jackpot is an estimated $25 million?
If I won, I'd start my own film festival.
Shh, no dreaming during the movie.
Sorry, I'd produce, direct, and star in my own summer blockbusters.
And watch him in my 200-seat home theater.
I'd buy my own roller coaster.
Sorry.
Tuesday's Lotto Max jackpot is an estimated $25 million. Why dream to the min when you can dream to the max?
TA Appliances' huge home show savings event is on now. Enjoy TA exclusive savings on all the top brands. Plus, pay no tax, get free bonus gifts with select products, and enter to win great prizes. Right now, save the tax on 2 or more Whirlpool appliances and receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. Whirlpool innovations made to keep the day moving. With TA's easy financing, you can buy it today and book fast delivery. Shop one of 5 TA locations or online at taappliance.com.
The legendary Yeti thrives in cold environments.
Just like my Subaru, all-wheel drive is like having an extra pair of Yeti legs.
The Yeti's natural habitat is in colder climates, but it's been spotted all over Canada.
Just like Subaru, we go everywhere, enjoying winter with the little ones. They grow up so fast. Legendary winters await, so hurry into your local Subaru dealer for lease and finance rates as low as 0.5%. Conditions apply. See dealer for details. Subaru, uncommon comes standard.
These days, it's hard to believe what you read, what you see, or even who to trust. At Bergmanis Prera, we've been building trust for over 30 years. If you've been involved in a serious accident, call Bergmanis Prera for advice that you can count on. Consultations are always free, and there's no obligation. I'm Ron Prera, managing partner. At Bergmanis Prera, honesty, integrity, and expertise aren't just words. It's my promise to you. Bergmanis Prera, you have a friend who's a lawyer. Contact us at bplawyers.ca.
Spring is just around the corner, and that means Chevrolet's Truck Month is back. For a limited time, get 0% financing for 72 months on the 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 Custom Trail Boss. Canada's most affordable 2-inch factory-lifted V8 truck. With Silverado's off-road capability combined with its powerful 5.3-liter V8 engine, you'll be ready to take on whatever lies ahead. Hurry in, Truck Month won't last long. Visit your local Chevrolet dealer for details.
University Health Network right here in Toronto has been named the #2 hospital in the world, and for the 8th year in a row, #1 in Canada. Hi, I'm Kevin Smith, President and CEO of UHN. Together, with your support, we're turning discovery into breakthroughs and breakthroughs into better outcomes for patients. All of us, united, are creating the best care for our community and our future. We're deeply grateful for your support. Find out more at uhnfoundation.ca.
You're in for a saucy good time. All you can eat drippin' chicken sandwiches are just $18.99 at St. Louis Bar and Grill. Buttermilk fried chicken on a brioche bun, crunchy pickles, garlic dill sauce, and your choice of 17 sauces and rubs. Before you get your fingers messy, text chicken to $595.90 for a chance to win a $250 gift card and get more info. All you can eat drippin' chicken sandwiches until April 5th, only at St. Louis Bar and Grill. Dine-in only, taxes extra, standard text and data rates apply.
It's not St. Patty's without shamrocks.
It's not a gift without a bow. It's not a bachelorette without sashes.
And with thousands of products under $5, it's not a party till you stopped at Party City. Party City, Canada. Now it's a party.
Golfers, Golftown trade-in days are back. This is your chance to upgrade your golf clubs for less. Trade in your old clubs and receive a 50% trade-in bonus towards new 2026 clubs. Visit golftown.com or visit one of our 48 locations for full details.
The following is a message from the Canada Action Coalition. It's time to build.
For too long, projects that power our country have been delayed or denied. We must build pipelines, power plants, ports, railways, and roads now to develop and export more of our resources, which will secure jobs, strengthen communities, and protect our economic future. Oil, natural gas, mining, and all of our natural resources make us stronger, fueling families, businesses, and our ability to compete in a changing world. We have to build here, and we have to build now. Learn more at timefораction.ca.
Hey y'all, it's Kelly Clarkson with Wayfair. Ever order furniture online and wonder what if it doesn't hold up?
That sofa was 4 days old.
You should have ordered from Wayfair. With Wayfair, there's no what if. Just style you love and quality you can trust. Visit wayfair.ca.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
I'm the puck that just won't bounce your way.
I'm the gust of wind that makes the field goal miss.
I'm the final shot that bounces out. Yeah, that's me. I'm random. And before you bet more than you can afford to lose, remember, I'm always in play. Learn more at gamblingisrandom.ca.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
As Canada stares down economic uncertainty, we're ready with a plan to protect Ontario. We're fighting to defend every job, building new nuclear facilities, speeding up approvals, diversifying our trade, bringing opportunity and good jobs home. Because this province doesn't just sit back, we build. That's how we protect Ontario. Learn more at ontario.ca/protectontario. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
Bet365 is paying out before the final buzzer.
Check out Bet365's early payout for NHL hockey. When you bet on a team to win and they take a 3-goal lead, you get paid, no matter the final score. And with early payout, you could be on your way to a winning parlay.
Early payout. Just another reason why it's never ordinary at Bet365. An official betting partner of the NHL. Must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca. T&Cs apply.
After a night out with your friends, not having a plan for a safe ride home can leave you in a bad spot. You can end up riding in an ambulance, a police car, or a hearse. These unplanned modes of transportation are costly alternatives and do not take you home. Your plan for a safe ride home can include a taxi, a designated driver, or public transit. Drink responsibly, choose your ride. Thanks from Arrive Alive, Drive Sober, Desjardins Insurance, and the Beer Store.
Big plays, big wins, big money. Come on down, Canada. Howie Mandel hosts the new series, The Price is Right Tonight, premiering tonight at 8/7 Central on City TV or stream it on City TV+.
Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
Welcome back. Little acts of kindness in a time when it seems everything is hopeless is one small way to make things better. And one simple act you can take today to have a direct and immediate impact on your community is donating blood at your nearest Canadian Blood Services donation center. This small act can save multiple lives. The need is always there, and it can bring a sense of contribution to the world in need of solutions. Choose a moment of hope today. Make a donation appointment by visiting blood.ca, the Give Blood app, or call 1-888-2-DONATE. Shout out to Blake Murphy, who always there donating blood. All right, Armin, what's up, buddy? What do we got? Shea Day.
Yes. Before we get to Shea, did you see Cal Raleigh not want to shake hands with Randy Arozarena at the plate?
Yeah, I don't really care about... Well, like, not in the sense that I'm saying I think that's going to be... my initial reaction was this is overblown, but then I saw a clip going around of Randy Arozarena talking about it, but it's in Spanish, so I don't know what he said. Do you know what he said?
I did get a translation.
Okay, yeah. What's the translation? Was he pissed? Because if he's pissed, then it's like, oh, that's actually something.
Yeah, he did seem pissed. He's kind of like...
Huh.
Okay, this is translated from Master Flip, who often does these translations for baseball Twitter.
Master Flip. Shout out.
Can't get more reliable than this.
Yeah.
He was like, how do you think I should respond to Cal Raleigh? The only thing he should be thankful for is having such great parents. He's very well educated. I was lucky enough to see them a few days ago at the hotel. After that, I want to give him the straight Cuban style. What he has to do is F off, pretty much. So anyways, he's basically saying, I saw his parents at the hotel.
That doesn't make any sense.
No. So he was like, I want to cook them in 4 languages pretty much. And like, this is all translated, so it sounds weird probably.
Yeah, what you just said sounds horrible. He's like, he's well educated. Yes, I ran into his parents at the hotel. I'm going to cook them.
Basically, they're good. Like, it seems like he was trying to say we were good friends.
Obviously, they're good. They're good. That's why I didn't think it was the biggest deal. Here's my thoughts on the whole handshake stuff, because this happened with Australia too. If you're trying to shake a guy's hand before an at-bat or after a home run or wherever the hell that the last one was, I just think that if you're the one trying to extend the handshake, you're doing the poor form. You're putting the other guy in a crappy position. Like, right now, you're there to compete.
Yeah.
You shake hands. Like, it's different because people be like, oh, man, it's a basketball game. Guys,
every sport has its different rituals.
Yeah, but that's not one for me with baseball. Like, dapping up the opposing catcher right before you take an AB in a high, intense moment. Like, you guys are representing your countries. Like, does it ends up looking worse on the catchers, the 2 guys this has happened to, because it seems like such a small thing just to reach out and be like, yeah, man, here's a quick dap.
Yeah.
But to me, personally, I think it's weirder that the guys are trying to dap up the catchers in those spots. Like, dude, just go. It's not a part of the culture. When do you watch a baseball game and you see guys dapping the catcher? It's just not.
That's true.
Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm offbeat on this. Maybe I'm just always missing it at the big league level. Maybe all these games I've watched and all these games I've been to, I'm just not paying attention to this.
It's easy to just verbally communicate it.
I just think it's weird to try to be dapping a guy up right before you take the at-bat. I get why the catchers don't want to do it. And also, the catchers are like the biggest psychos out there. They're the captains of the team. They're the ones who want to be managers. Like, they're the dialed into the game plan. So obviously you're not going to get it. Like, it's not the same as going to first base and you're chuckling with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. You're going up to Cal Raleigh right before he's facing. Like, we're not bros right now.
Yeah.
This is not bro time.
I like it, if anything. It's adding a little juice.
Yeah, I got no problem with it. I think that the internet is always just going to be like, and that is so rude, even though, whatever. I think it's fine. I don't care.
Do you have a secondary team, by the way, Bunk, if Canada's eliminated?
Everybody does. What are you talking? There's no. What are you talking about? You think that? Yeah, no. I root for Netherlands. Like
Japan, maybe. Japan's. I feel like it's a favorite too.
Yeah. But here's the thing. So I'm really in on Okamoto, and I really want him to do well. But now I hate Shohei so much that Japan's out. Like, would I root for Japan?
And
over
we
the
just
Americans?
got cooked by Yamamoto.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, but if it was USA versus Japan, Japan's my squad.
Yeah.
But ultimately, no, I'm as much on the Dominican Republic bandwagon as anybody else. Like,
they're on different sides. So it's going to be DR,
it's so fun. I think it's so good for the game to have a team with that kind of personality. Like,
for sure.
Again, if that's everybody, that's where you're like, but to have them just be playing with joy and be loving each other and going out and just celebrating bombs and
dancing
playing with that flair is so sick, man. It's so sick.
Glad he's paradise because he's got all his buddies where
dude,
just have that similar energy.
It's so sick. If you're hating on them, and I think I'm creating a straw man. I don't think anybody's hating on them other than maybe Goose Gossage, who's at home seeing the highlights just furious, just can't believe that they're doing this to the game he loves. But yeah, no, I'm all for DR and like they're far and away the team I want to see win compared to anybody other than Canada. Like, Canada's the boys. Like, Canada's the bros. I'm obviously, I'm Canada down. But it's just, after them, it's those guys by a healthy margin. I just don't even, I think that if you can't love that and you can't get behind that, especially if you're from here and you root for Vladimir Guerrero Jr., I don't even understand the pushback. Like, I don't like it when I've complained about this before. I think that one of the things that really sucks about AAU is that a lot of these guys play together and they become like best buddies and they don't hate each other in a certain way.
Yeah.
And I prefer the model of you grow up hating a certain dude because he was on the team that beat you. That's your biggest rival, not the super team element that comes with AAU. But this isn't that. This is just boys being boys, having fun and representing their country well and dominating and playing with flair. It rocks. There's no, I don't even have like the slightest criticism for it or the slightest pushback to any of it. I'm just all in. I love it so much. And yeah, I want more. Yeah, I want to see them in the finals. I want to see them go on a run. It'd be great. It's great for baseball. Anyways, we got to talk about Shea, man, because yesterday, like, he cooked my Nuggets. He put them in the dirt in a way where it was like, so
MVP race is over.
Yeah, it's over. He just locked it up. He sealed it up. It's done. Shea is MVP, 2-time MVP as a Canadian. The Nash convo now as he gets the 2-time. Like, listen, I'll always have my feelings for Steve Nash, and I feel like, weirdly with time, because Basketball Canada's in the state that it's in, people are going to, I don't know, maybe I'm again strawmanning again, but like, really underestimate where Canada basketball was at when Steve Nash started versus where Shai Gilgeous-Alexander got to jump into basketball. Like the idea of just a Canadian guy going to Kentucky and the routes to AAU. Like I went over some of this with the Oren Weisfeld interview, so you can listen to that in the pod in terms of like Nash's impact will always be greater than Shai's impact, in my opinion, just like from where the grassroots level is. But Shai being a 2-time MVP, an NBA champion, like this streak is outrageous. How many games is it now? 120?
127 games to tie or to pass Wilt for the most.
Yeah, it's nuts. Like,
can I run a few numbers by you on Shai's season?
Yeah, go ahead.
On pace to be the first player since Michael Jordan
Yeah.
in 1993 to have 4 straight
Yeah.
30 points per game
Yeah.
seasons.
Yeah.
On pace to have the second highest true shooting percentage in a 30-point-per-game season behind Steph Curry. Yesterday, he became just the second player in NBA history to have a game where he registered 35 points, 15 assists with 0 turnovers, joining LeBron in 2018 one time.
Do you know what this show would look like if the Thunder were still the Sonics and Shai was doing this for the Sonics?
Oh.
Like, I would probably not have a job because our bosses would be like, hey, man, the whole show can't just be Sonics and Shai talk every day. That's all it would be. There's a few things here. One is yesterday, no turnovers, 15 assists, 35 points, and 2 game-winning shots. Like 2. He had 2. I also think that yesterday was a big moment for Shai, man. Like, the whole world is watching, and the NBA world at large is paying attention because it's OKC Denver.
Yep.
So he does it against Jokic. He does it in a game without Jalen Williams. He does it in a game without Chet Holmgren. Does it in a game without Alex Caruso.
4 starters were out.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Shai doesn't get his full flowers from the NBA. One is because he's not American, so the media doesn't embrace him the same way. 2 is that he plays in Oklahoma City, which is a Dust Bowl, and it doesn't matter how many championships they win. It's like it's not a major market that people are going to want to talk about. And I think another one is that they're so stacked as a team and they've been built to a certain degree where it's like, it feels so unfair that the general manager gets more credit kind of than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander does. He should get more because his shot making, as he just showed you in that game, is like OKC can't win without Shai.
No,
you take
not a
Shai out of the
shot.
equation and they're not winning an NBA championship. You put Shai on the floor and you can remove a bunch of those other guys. You don't need Chet to win the title. You don't need Jalen Williams to win the title. Do they make it feel like they're the favorites? Yeah, but that's the guy that stirs the drink. 15 assists, no turnovers? Are you out of your mind? That's as dialed as I've seen a guy, but also a big moment for Shai, not just because it's truly a signature moment for him where he doesn't have to share it with anyone else. So it's like he makes that shot. It's incredible, but also he hits the post game. And he tells the media, they ask him, do you know what you're going to do coming out of that timeout?
Yeah.
And he says, what is it? He's like,
I have the answers.
No, he says, I have all the answers to the test, but I don't have all the questions yet.
I need to see the question first.
And I go, that is cold.
He drops the IG captions in the presser sometimes.
So yeah, he is a good.
Also, there was no foul grifting yesterday.
No, there wasn't. I think he shot 4 free throws. He shot 4 free throws. He had 35 points. It was just like a true hooper game. Like, nah, man, this was a real moment for Shai. Like,
I'm getting to the point, man, where like sometimes you like some of the newer, like the modern players, you're like they weren't as good as the guys then. I don't know how to like contextualize this with Shai, because I'm like, is he having a better 2-year stretch run than like Kobe? Like I'm having these internal thoughts. I don't even want to, I don't even say it. I just like in my head, I'm like, how would I compare this? Like, honestly, just be honest with yourself here.
His shot making ability is like it's among the all timers. Like it's as good as it gets kind of situation here. This is like you
The
talk
clutch play, we could say now.
you
too.
talk about the greatest shot makers of all time, and there are many of them. He is in the mix. Like he's a part of that group. He's a part of that core. You cannot take that away from him. Like what he's doing at that position, at that size, all of it, it's historical stuff. Like he is genuinely one of the great. Like he is going to, if he continues this pace, and like it's already there, but like he's in the greatest players of all time conversation. That's what I'm saying about like he's a greater player than Steve Nash. Like it just is what it is. And yes, the game evolves. Like did you see MJ's answer on the GOAT conversation? Yeah. I went, God, he's just so better at playing this game than LeBron is with this thing, with the PR. Like, it's chess versus checkers with LeBron being like, I'm the GOAT. And then the MJ just being like, no, it's good that they're better now. And you're like, nah, he's the GOAT. But, yeah, no, man, this was a real moment for Shea. Did it on his own, 35-15, signature game, signature opponent, signature cool moment after the game, quote after the game. God, he's so cool. God, he's so good. God, I love him, and I hate that he plays for the Oklahoma City Thunder. We'll see you tomorrow.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French.
Save up to 50% on your